Hey everybody, James Breese here, and in today's video I'm being tested for food sensitivities. So I'm here in Pacific Beach in San Diego, going to hang out with the wonderful Dr. Debbie Bright. Alright, come meet Debbie. Okay, so since I was born, I've always had some kind of food sensitivity. Now you're gonna laugh at this because I grew up on a farm and I was allergic to dairy. I found out because I used to get night terrors about Slimer from Ghostbusters. It gets better because I progressed to sleepwalking, kicking my sister out of her bed, and then peeing in her closet. Now this went on for like 3 to 4 weeks until someone finally said, hey, maybe he's allergic to something in his food to my mother. She cut out a whole bunch of food and we found out I was sensitive to dairy. So we cut it out. So I started eating less dairy and having goat's milk and goat's cheese instead of the cow product. Cow product, can I say cow? They pretty much instantly went away until I was 14, 15, and I started to rebel. I started to have cow's milk, started to eat more dairy products again. I just didn't care anymore. I thought, right, I'm fixed. I can do this. I was so excited about being able to eat dairy again, but I didn't really care about any side effects or symptoms that I was displaying. Namely, I got quite a lot of acne, my skin was becoming quite red and sore, I had a bit of psoriasis and eczema that nobody could fix and cure, and I used to get quite a bit of bad dandruff. Now, and if you ask any of my ex-girlfriends about my breath when I ate ice cream or cream or had any milk, just ask them, because they didn't want to come anywhere near me. I just had this reflux every time I had it that just wanted to make my breath smell like vomit. It was disgusting, but I ignored it because I thought, yay, dairy is fine. So I carried on ignoring these symptoms, but as I got older into my mid-20s, I developed other allergies. Hay fever being one, I couldn't wear my contact lenses, and the second big one was every time I drank alcohol, my face just erupted. It was a total nightmare. As I started to drink and continue to drink alcohol, I experienced bloating in my stomach and it became quite painful. So much so that I've now stopped drinking alcohol completely and I've been completely dry for the last 5 years. So about 5 years ago, I cut out dairy completely. I finally listened to my ex-girlfriends. I finally looked at everything, started listening to advice I was reading around the world. And I thought, right, okay, let me cut it out for 30 days and see what happens. When I reintroduced it and putting cream in my coffee, I wanted to vomit almost immediately. To this day, if I have any form of dairy in like cream, milk, ice cream, it wants to come back up like projectile vomit. It's disgusting and I can't have it. I feel hungover for a few days after that as well. It has such a big effect on me and it's a nightmare. Particularly when you grow up on a farm and you have to explain to your grandparents every time you go to the farm why you can't have any milk or any cheese. Now, since cutting dairy and alcohol out my system, what I found is that the psoriasis down the side of my face here is completely gone. I no longer have flaking of the skin in my scalp, and I feel overall way better. I know everybody's different, but that's just how it's impacted me, and it's made a massive difference. But in the last few weeks since coming back to the United States, some of the red patchiness and the flaky skin on the side of my nose has come back. So I've taken the time out to come visit Dr. Debbie Bright, who's an expert in her field regarding functional medicine and food sensitivity profiling. I want to find out once and for all, what sensitivities do I have? What is going on inside my body? Because we all know the skin is just a reflection of the inside. So today I'm going to go through a full food sensitivity consultation with Debbie here.
I'm Dr. Debbie Bright. You might best recognize me as the Look Good Naked Doctor on most of the social media platforms. I'm a chiropractic physician. I also have my master's in nutrition and human performance, and I am postgraduate trained in functional medicine. So what we're going to do today with James is a blood draw lab and then see what shows up for you.
Tell the world, how did you get started?
Honestly, I got started, I've always just had a love for nutrition. I watched my dad suffer debilitating back pain. My brother couldn't get accepted into Annapolis because he required a medication that he needed 3 times a day for his migraines. And just kind of going through grad school, I was exposed to functional medicine, and it just you know, it really shed a new light on healthcare for me, and since then we've had really great results with my dad. He's pain-free, medication-free. My brother threw his migraine medicine in the trash, and everybody's living this really healthy, amazing lifestyle, all food related.
Okay, so I am no nutrition expert. You know, my background in food is basically following the seafood diet. Like, I see food and I eat it. That is my background. But the older I get now, the more the importance of understanding what I put in my body is becoming more apparent. Can you tell the world a little bit about functional medicine? I've only started to learn about functional medicine in the last couple of years, but it's been around for a long time. Can you just give a little overview of what it is and what people should know about it?
Right, so to understand functional medicine, you also need to recognize conventional medicine. And conventional medicine is where you have an ailment, an ache, a pain, something going on, and you go to typically your MD, right? And they write you a script and you get a pill for an ill. With functional medicine, which has only actually been around in the last 19 or 20 years or so, it's all brand new science, and functional medicine focuses on how every organ and tissue in the body communicates as one, right? So if you have an unhealthy gut, you have an unhealthy thyroid, you have an unhealthy brain. So we look at labs that address food sensitivities, and we look at stool labs to address gut health, and we look at nutrient deficiencies. And ideally, the patient starts to feel better through, you know, removing inflammatory foods, simply correcting nutritional deficiencies, and letting the body heal itself.
Okay, so the goal now is to go through the consultation process with Deb. Hopefully it'll help you guys understand more about your food sensitivities. More importantly, it'll help me with my food sensitivities, and maybe just hold me more accountable to my food and my nutrition, because it is my biggest weakness. And we're all about training your weaknesses. Nutrition is my biggest weakness. It's hard.
So you're actually going to be tested for 96 of the most common reactive foods in the standard American diet.
96?
96.
Coffee? You mean testing
Coffee. Coffee's actually in there.
Oh no, what if it comes back wrong?
Instant coffee can be a problem for people because
I don't drink that stuff.
it contains gluten, so high quality matters in your foods. You're actually going to be tested for both eggs in the form of the egg yolk and the egg white. And what most people don't actually realize is that it's the egg white that's inflammatory, not actually the egg yolk. Yeah.
I eat a lot of eggs too. Please don't come back. I can't. Please
I know.
Don't come back again.
Egg is a hard one for people to give up.
Eggs and coffee, my life is over. I'm looking forward to this, I really am. I think it'll be exciting to see what comes up, what the test shows. Kind of nervous at the same time, because what if some foods I love eating I can't eat anymore? It's a shame he's doing our bloods today. Seven days is a long time to wait for the bloods. I love things instant, I want things now. So how do these blood samples work?
So basically the food sensitivity test is testing your immune reaction to different proteins in different foods. So the idea is that because 80% of your immune system lives in your gut,
80%?
80%. That's why it's so important to check what it is that you might be reactive to. Now, if you have a whole slew of reactions, that's going to tell me that you might have a broken down gut lining, and then we would treat you by going in and removing the inflammatory foods, introducing gut healing nutraceutical therapies and gut healing foods. People often confuse a food sensitivity with a food allergy. Now, a food allergy is maybe the most recognizable is someone that's allergic to shellfish. You eat shrimp, you blow up, you have to be rushed to the ER, you need an EpiPen. A food sensitivity, on the other hand, it's a slower response, so maybe you eat something your body doesn't like, and it doesn't show up for 72 hours or beyond. That's why it's so hard to pinpoint a food sensitivity, and blood labs are very effective.
All right, now we've done the professional stuff, now it's time for the fun stuff. We're gonna work out, right?
Oh yeah, rowing time.
Rowing time. Let's go and find your husband. Round 2 next week, and the results of my bloods. Woohoo! Woo! Hey, what's up everyone? I'm back with Dr. Debbie Bright. So, the goal is now to find out the results because they've come in. It's been exactly 7 days. I'm super excited. Yeah, let's find out exactly what's going on. So, come join me. Hey Deb, how's it going? Let's give a high five because I can't do anything else. Look at this little man. Got the results?
Right here, ready and waiting.
Look at this, people. Look at this. All right, everyone, it's time. I have the results in my hand. Tell me what's going on.
As you know, you without a doubt have a reaction to dairy. And because you've spent the last, 12 to 18 months really honing in on removing it from your diet, without it being in your body would not form antibodies and have an immune system reaction to it. So we know that. So dairy essentially did not show up. And just to point out to you guys, it's really important that, you know, occasionally patients want to challenge a food, and as a physician, we often don't recommend that. Because if it is causing you a problem, why be sick when you know that it's an issue, right? So no real need to challenge what we already know. Now you have some other foods that came up, but the best part is that
Coffee?
No coffee.
Yes!
No coffee.
Yes, no coffee. I can drink coffee. Woo!
Coffee without dairy.
Yes. Okay,
Almond
good.
milk only, or coconut. The biggest thing is that you have a really healthy gut. And our labs tell us this because only minimal amount of food showed up. But I do want to know.
Minimal amount of foods?
A minimal amount. We had out of 96 foods tested, 2 came back. And you're reactive to tomatoes and scallops.
Tomatoes?
Yeah.
Tomatoes?
Yeah.
What do you say? Tomatoes?
I say tomatoes.
I say tomatoes. There you go then, okay.
There you go.
Tomatoes?
Yeah.
Really?
They happen to be a nightshade vegetable, or technically fruit. Good to know.
Tomatoes?
Yeah. Now, however, both foods, the tomatoes and the scallops, were just an intermediate reaction. So as you're
Scallops? Oh yeah, I forgot about that bit.
yeah, you forgot about those, right? Oh, and you were borderline garlic. Yeah. Garlic of all things, right? I know. These healthy foods sometimes can be unhealthy.
Tomatoes, garlic, and scallops.
Yeah.
I eat tomatoes every week.
This could be the hidden skin.
Wow. Garlic is pretty much in all food, like as a flavoring I put into it things. Scallops, not so much. I can't remember the last time I had scallops. Maybe it was here in San Diego at a seafood restaurant, but wow, those 3.
Right.
Nothing else?
Yeah, nothing else. Now, remember, we did not run a gluten panel. So with some of the skin rashing stuff, we know that gluten attacks the brain, the gut, and the skin. And most people only recognize it when it's called celiac disease, but there's many other forms of gluten sensitivities. So I would recommend that we run the Vibrant Wheat Zoomer and look at the intestinal impermeability related to gluten. But anyway, so what you need to do now is, I would say, remove these inflammatory foods for 3
Tomatoes, scallops, and garlic. Yeah.
for 3 to 6 months, probably 3.
Okay.
And then just try a reintroduction, see how you feel. Look for, symptoms like fatigue or gas or bloating or the skin
Yeah.
rashing, anything along those lines, joint pain. And if it doesn't bother you too much and we've calmed the antibody reaction down in your immune system, then I would say you're free to have them about once a week. Just don't go overboard.
Okay, see you later, Deb. Bye. Look at it. Bye. There we go. Anyway, guys. Oh, hell. I just walked into the door. Like these blooming. Ah! Oh my God. It's broken the whole door.
We'll fix it. Don't worry about it.
Whoops. So yeah, I've just broken Anthony and Deb's front door. That was bad by me, so sorry Deb. My bad by that. Anyway, there you have it guys. That was my blood tests and results being done. I'm just scarpering before I get called back to go and fix something. That was fascinating. I'm really excited to try it out and take those foods out of my diet and see what happens. I really want to learn more. I want to learn more about the hormone panels, and I want to learn more about my stool testing now as well to see how that comes up, because I still don't think I think there's something missing. I don't quite know yet, but as Deb said in her professional opinion, we need to investigate further. It's about finding the results, finding out what's actually going on, and not just guessing, which I think a lot of things in nutrition does tend to be. If you enjoyed this video, want to find out more, please make sure you check out Dr. Debbie. Search for Dr. Debbie Bright, look for Look Good Naked, Are you having any trouble with your nutrition? Just leave a comment below. Let's see if we can put you in the right direction and help you guys out. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Look at this. Look at this. She's trying to kill me, people. She's trying to kill me. She's trying to feed me garlic.
I know, we just found out you can't have it, and I almost made him lemon garlic shrimp.
It's a learning process.
I still like it though. It's okay.